Thank you so much for joining us on a brand new episode of 420 Grams. जवानों देखो, बड़े दिन से ना एक खंजरे के बारे में बात हो रही थी कि खंजरे में कुछ डाला गया है और खंजरे की चाबी मिल ही नहीं रही क्योंकि सुनवाई नहीं हो रही। लेकिन खेल ऐसा हुआ है कि कुछ दिनों में ठक 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 सुनवाई भी हुई, खंजरे की चाबी भी मिली, चाबी से ताला खोला भी गया और उसके बाद जी सामने आज दस्तखत या क्या कहते हैं न्योता भेज दिया गया है यहाँ पे लोगों को। इफ यू डोंट नो व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, just pick up that rock under which you've been sleeping, because this news happened way early in the morning. There's a gentleman on our screens. His name is Jaydeep Basu. He broke it on Twitter, and he broke Twitter in the process because it just went nuts. His tweet read exactly that the Supreme Court has removed the All India Football Federation Committee, Praful Patel, so on. But the exact thing is, because the order has not come as yet, the official order has not yet come. We're expecting it tomorrow. But from hearsay, we can say is this much, that the court, the Supreme Court, has appointed a committee of administrators, COA, 3 of them, whose job is to run the daily affairs of the AIFF till the 30th of June, which is also under the guidance of the current members of the AIFF. And their job is also to rectify the constitution, the very constitution which is the crux of this entire matter. कि रेक्टिफाई नहीं हुआ है, इसके वजह से इलेक्शंस नहीं हुए, उसको रेक्टिफाई कीजिए, एक बार रेक्टिफाई हो जाए एंड ऑल द मेंबर एसोसिएशंस आर हैप्पी विद इट, जो भी बैक एंड फोर्थ जो होगा उसके बाद then you set a date for the elections which have been on hold since 2020. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're joined by Jaydeep Basu. We're joined by President of Delhi Football Association, Shaji Prabhakar. And we're also joined by my dear friend, Siddhant Aney. Gentlemen, good to see all of you. Jaydeep sir, ये तो सर मैंने मोटी मोटी बात बोली है, ऊपर ऊपर की बात. Anything more to this? What was it? I know it's a telling blow, in a sense, if you look at it like that. But this was expected that this would happen the way it turned out today.
As long as it was not being heard, it was. People thought it will never come. But when it was hard, those who are in know of the things, they thought it will come on the very first day, and it has come on the very first day. It's a telling blow. It's a telling blow. What you call it, telling blow for a few individuals. I can count them on my hands, on my finger actually, not on my hands. In one finger, I can count the number of people for who it is a telling blow. But for the Indian football, it's a huge relief, I would say. Supreme Court, on the other hand, lots of people are saying that they have given a blow to a All India Football Federation. We should put it in this way, that Supreme Court has done a great job. It has given a huge relief to entire Indian football community.
Shaji sir, how does this work now? I'm just going by facts. Say 30th of June is the time they've been given. उसके बाद से when can we expect an election, sir? Like, what is the date? Like, इतने दिन में होना चाहिए election.
Yeah, what I read from media sources and from the different other people who could see live and were there at the court, Supreme Court has clearly specified saying by 30th June the constitution must be ready to go for an election. So that what I anticipate is that in July the elections will be announced and it should be held in August if everything goes as per the timeline set by Supreme Court.
Jaydeep sir, before of course I get Siddhant into it, क्योंकि उसने भी थोड़ी छानबीन करी है. जो चीज जिसका मैं तो मुहावरा या जो भी आपको फ्रेज यूज कर रहा था, ताला चाबी खंजर का, जिस ताले की चाबी मिल ही नहीं रही थी बहुत टाइम से, इतनी जल्दी खट 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 it's moved into action. Are you also surprised at how quickly everything has progressed for something that took so long? Jaydeep sir.
Yeah, I think, देखिए, ताला आप जो बोल रहे हैं ना, ताला में चाबी मिल ही नहीं रहा था. हाँ, चाबी आपका खो गया आपके ड्राइंग रूम में, आप ढूंढने चले गए आपके गराज में. 6 महीना तक you started looking for it in your garage. You will never get it. People know where it is to be found. It is in your cupboard only.
निकालो vacuum cleaner.
हाँ, Supreme Court. It took 2 minutes for Supreme Court to take out the. अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि मेरे को चाबी नहीं मिल रहा, आपको मालूम है वो कहाँ है, लेकिन आप ढूंढ दो और कहीं जाके, मेरा घर का चाबी अगर अर्जुन पंडित के घर में जाके मैं ढूंढने लग जाऊं तो जिंदगी भर ढूंढूंगा, मिलेगा नहीं। मिलेगा क्या?
सर
नहीं मिलेगा।
but sir
इट वाज लाइक दैट।
agreed sir, but इसमें ये मतलब कहानी पलटी कहाँ है? क्योंकि is it when Mr. Prashant Bhushan came into the picture and thereby he got the notice of the Supreme Court and thereby the hearing came so quickly and everything moved like a Shatabdi?
To an extent, yes, it is Mr. Ranjit Bajaj's credit to I would say to an extent, Mr. Ranjit Bajaj has a credit, because he see, a lot of people filed an application. Even Kallan Chobe, Saji knows very well. So Kallan also filed an application, but Ranjit also filed it. But Ranjit's, I think he brought in Mr. Prashant Bhushan, who is a noted lawyer, well respected, and 6 days ago in the Supreme Court, he requested the CJI, Chief Justice of India, to look into the matter. CJI asked him that what has happened. He said that people are sitting there rather illegally without any mandate. And I think from there it started moving. But if you look at it, things were moving for the last. See, my sources say that within the All India Football Federation, the lawyers who were working for Mr. Patel or for that matter, I would not say Mr.
The
Patel,
Federation.
for the Federation, they kept on saying the officials there that we cannot keep it on hold anymore. The day it will come up for hearing, that उसी दिन ये खत्म हो जाएगा, क्योंकि हम 16 महीने विदाउट इलेक्शन से बैठे। तो वही हुआ है जिस दिन हियरिंग, देखिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट also had a lot of work after the COVID-19 thing so they probably had no time for football. We have to admit that is quite low in the list of priority. There are several important things happening in the country. So they took, but the day it was hard, like today it was hard. By at what time? It started around 11 and by 12:30 everything was over.
पता नहीं आपने आज सुबह मेरी आपके ट्वीट से ही खुली है, मैं ऐसे गया हूँ मैं ऐसे ही शुरुआत हुई है।
So even Saji was talking to a lot of lawyers and he was telling me for the last 1 month, he was telling me, and a lot of other people telling me, and let me tell you, a lot of people from Mr. Praful Patel's camp told me very clearly, जिस दिन ये hearing होगा उसी दिन भंडा फट जाएगा, खत्म हो जाएगा। वो जो चाबी के आप बोल रहे थे ना, चाबी तो कारपेट के सामने ही है, पड़ी थे। अब लोग अंधे हैं, ढूंढ रहे, जो अब एक आ गया कोई ठीक ठाक, वो ढूंढ लिया, 1 मिनट में चाबी निकाल लिया।
Shaji sir, as a member as the president of a member association of the federation, president of Delhi FA, how do you view this development, sir? I need to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, see, we anticipated this 3-4 weeks back. This is coming, and thus we have written.
What in the sense, I need to understand. I get you've been around football for a long time and you know football administration for a long time. What was the thing? क्या था आपने कैसे एंटिसिपेट किया सर? Was there something, a feeler, कुछ नोटिस किया? बिकॉज जिस चीज के बारे में इतने टाइम से बातचीत हो रही थी लेकिन कोई मूवमेंट नहीं हो रहा था, बस बातचीत हो जा रही थी, सडनली एवरीथिंग हैज मूव्ड एंड मूव्ड हाउ क्विकली इज जस्ट वाओ। क्या देखा सर? आई एम सॉरी।
See, you have to be intelligent enough to understand how and when things will happen. And we are fortunate that we are in Delhi. Yes, and the powers are here, nowhere else. And things were building up couple of weeks back, and we were very sure, and that's why we cautioned. We returned to AIFF saying that we must approach FIFA and put a normalization committee to avoid FIFA ban. If the court intervenes, put the administrator, and exactly that what happened. And then now we are going to get into FIFA action, and that the report once it comes, I can tell you 100% clear, in what direction it will go. So
So
therefore,
you're fearing a ban?
yeah, that's very much on the card, because if nobody knows better than me, FIFA,
Yeah.
being part of FIFA for long, uh, and I worked in those situations. Therefore, FIFA doesn't take any outside interference, yeah, and it cannot be like a BCCI situation for India, and that is where FIFA will step in, and still FIFA will, you know, because FIFA won't be, coordinating on the day-to-day affairs of football with an outside body, yeah, and they want football people to run the organization, run the football affairs, and that is where the normalization committee was the best fit for India, and
Mm-hmm.
that way things would have been very smooth, and we
For
could
the
have.
layman, sir, for the layman, what is the normalization
See,
thing
the
that you were talking about?
normalization committee is a committee which is called an interim committee in India, maybe. Yeah, people can
Okay.
understand, an ad hoc committee kind of a thing. But the normalization committee mandate is that they have to review the statutes if required. They have
Hmm.
to complete the process of amendment of the statutes and conduct the fair election. Yeah, and the members selected in the normalization committee cannot contest elections for any post of AIFF. So the thing with the normalization committee is that they are the people who are already part of the system, who already been there. They can be a former player, they can be administrator, they can be part of a club, they can be part of an association, yeah. And that's a group of people FIFA directly interviews and selects them,
तो आप
and
FIFA
they
ban avoid
do,
करते हो basically.
and
आप FIFA
everything runs the normally, the football
everything.
runs normally, the day-to-day things, yeah.
Hmm. Annie bhai, this word on the FIFA ban, because that's probably once the order comes, as sir is saying right now. What do you suppose? Because there was an AFC meeting as well today, General Assembly meeting, right? I think earlier in the day today,
The AFC Congress, yeah, the
AFC Congress
32nd
was there earlier in the day today.
AFC Congress happened today.
हाँ,
Yeah,
तो
and
आपने कुछ छानबीन
the
करी है
president
with
of
regards to the
FIFA
ban?
was present. नहीं, छानबीन कुछ नहीं कर रही है, मैं तो बस अटेंड किया है, कांग्रेस देख रहा था मैं, जो बोल रहे थे लोग, तो सुना बस. It's really interesting that these two things were happening simultaneously. So the Congress essentially opened with the proposal to amend the statutes of the AFC Congress itself, to say that among the agenda points that happen at every AFC Congress is taking a call on whether any member association needs to be either banned or suspended for any reason. For example, Pakistan is currently, the Pakistan Football Association, Federation, whatever it's called, is currently banned by FIFA. And in fact, that example came up in the Supreme Court today itself. The AIFF responding to exactly what Shaji is saying about, they essentially warned the court that if you appoint a committee of administrators, the likely result of that is a FIFA ban. Right?
But why would the Supreme Court care? I mean, वो तो अपना काम खत्म कर रहे हैं, निकाल रहे हैं वो तो.
The Supreme Court has earlier also, this is a matter that's ongoing since 2017. Started in the Delhi High Court and it's been going on since then, and multiple things have happened in the process. So this committee of administrators is not new. It's been in place since 2017. Today it's only been reconstituted. One member has been added. Retired Justice Anil Dave has been added. So from a 2-member committee, it's gone to a 3-member committee. The purpose of this is, according to the court, not to take up any more time of the court and of anyone else involved in the matter, and also to move on with the good functioning of the AIFF, to hold these elections as quickly as possible, right?
Yes.
Now, a couple of things have happened, and some of this is just like on whose part or whatever, but part of larger legal strategies, right? So the draft constitution was submitted by SY. So that's and the terminology also matters.
हाँ, मैं इसमें पैदल हूँ भाई, आप प्लीज टेक फॉरवर्ड, गो अहेड। एन वक्त पे फ्रीज भी हो गया हमारा भाई बोल के टर्मिनोलॉजी मैटर्स। देयर इज वन टर्मिनोलॉजी फॉर यू, पे फॉर योर वाईफाई प्लीज। sorry Shaji sir, I'm just okay, I'm thinking like a layman here. You're saying that if I am banned by FIFA, the fact that I'm a country that's hosting the under 17 World Cup, will that make me change my mind? Will that have implications on hosting tournaments like these? I've read somewhere that now that China has pulled out of 2023, I know Qatar is the front runner, but we have also somewhere put our hat, our hand in a hat in the ring, saying that we could like to host all these things. So for a country that's willing to host a lot of your tournaments, would you want to go ahead and ban them, especially given you have the under 17 World Cup coming up?
See, don't like to speculate on this, but then depends. See, under 17 World Cup, I don't think it will come under the ban, because it won't last. Even if the ban comes, I think it will be very short, because FIFA and everyone, the stakeholders here, would also like to see that this ban doesn't last long. It will be a shorter ban even if it comes. Therefore, the immediate impact can be of the AFC Asia Cup qualification.
Yes, the one in June in Calcutta.
In Calcutta.
How will it impact, sir? How will it impact, sir?
If the ban comes, then we can't really play any international matches.
Oh.
Yeah, but domestic football can continue. That's not a problem. But then international football will come to an halt. Yeah.
So those 3 games, sir,
remains.
Forfeit, or what has happened? Reschedule? How does it happen?
I think what will happen is then AFC will have to find a new venue, because then if India cannot take part, they cannot say postpone, because they also don't have the liberty of time with them, and they need to conclude these qualifications as early as possible. But then there may be consideration considering the situation. Maybe if we are lucky, AFC can postpone it. Yeah, and but it all depends. Next 1 week is going to be crucial, and the first, as soon as the report FIFA gets in hand, and then they will begin the consultation process between AFC, because the confederation plays again a huge role. The AFC. They will also take their point of view, and also they will discuss with the people here in India as well. Yeah, and then a FIFA bureau will meet. FIFA bureau, that's for any quick decisions. The FIFA bureau is empowered to meet, and they will take a call. And this can take 48 hours to a week time. If they want to move ahead. And again, a lot of situation comes into play here, and that is where in India also, we as a stakeholder will have to play a more proactive role. We have to avoid this ban in whatever way, best possible way, because it will be not a nice thing to happen.
Sir, I'm sorry, Jaydeep sir, I'll get you into this, because sir's been in the mix of these things. Sir, you're saying that committee that's formed eventually, can they take, say कि यार ये देखो इनके 3 मुकाबले बाकी हैं एशियन कप से पहले, शाजी sir, let's make a special case for them. We're saying we're letting them play their 3 games. Let's take it away from Kolkata, put it away somewhere. But if India is banned, it's banned, right? Then you're not playing. So that means bye-bye Asian Cup.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye Asian Cup then.
Yes. Unless AFC kind of finds another window for
but
this.
So the other 3 teams will say, how are you doing this? No, we won't play.
That's also.
वो कलकत्ता के कैंप में आज तो यही बातें हो रही होंगी, वहाँ पे वो लड़के लगे हुए हैं, सब मेहनत कर रहे हैं। जयदीप सर, ये बहुत बड़ा धक्का लग सकता है जो सर कह रहे हैं।
तो लग ही सकते हैं, वो तो मतलब and Mr. Patel and his committee should take the blame. They should have given a thought to all these things. From tomorrow, his people will start saying, we are banned, so then India will get banned. But who is to be blamed for that? Does that mean he will illegally occupy the places, the chairs? I think, see, getting a ban is never good. But they have forced the situation to a level where it is coming. Who stopped them from holding the election in 20 December? It could have been held. Things would have been easy.
I get that, sir. I get your point. I'm just trying to stick in the present right now. But like, sir, Shaji sir said 30th of June, sir, the COA has been given.
Right?
अब कोर्ट ने आपको डेट दे दिया है. अब वो ये नहीं कहेंगे कि 15 जून को करो या 1 जून को करो, राइट? मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि आपने अगर पहले कर दिया है, देन आपने उससे जल्दी पहले आप इलेक्शंस कर सकते हो. जितने जल्दी आपने रेटिफाई आपने किया उसको, और उतनी जल्दी आप इलेक्शंस कर सकते हो. 30 जून दिया मतलब उसके 45 दिन बाद तक का वो टाइम विंडो है, सर, जैसे आपने हमें एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द शो बताया. सो व्हिच मींस August. I'm saying best case, Shaji sir, Jaydeep sir, August is when your elections happen. Which means
मेरे ख्याल से
a ban comes, then you're gone. Then you're gone from the nation unless a special case is made. Shaji sir, a special case, what do I mean? What are the factors that are taken into implementing a special case?
See, the special case is FIFA lands up, FIFA and AFC delegation lands up in India as early as possible, and go for a meeting one-on-one with all the stakeholders. The key stakeholders in this case is the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and then the state associations, the member associations, and the committee of administrators. So therefore, the most proactive step, if it comes, a consultation should first happen before FIFA takes a decision of banning in India. They need to find a way out. There is a possibility of finding a middle path, and where FIFA and AFC can be satisfied, saying that okay, we can put the Normalization Committee along with the committee of administrators, and where the football matters, the amendment of the constitution, all will be held by Normalization Committee, and that way, because see, for FIFA, India is a key country, and taking any say quick decision without going deep into it, it won't be the right thing. And I am very sure FIFA and AFC will come down here with a important delegation and start meeting different stakeholders and try to understand the situation, which is good for Indian football, because at the end, whatever decision one takes, it has to impact football positively, not in any negative direction, because we have the potential, and FIFA understands that, AFC understands that, and no kind of decisions which should impact Indian football.
So just one last thing on your normalization committee. If I am part of the federation, I need to form a normalization committee. What is the time frame I'm looking at? Say you had sent your letter a week back. So there was there was 6 days prior to what has happened today.
Yes.
How many days does it take, or what is the hours to actually form it and do that?
See, the normalization committee, again, it can be done within a week's time. Because it is the FIFA's responsibility. FIFA will identify people, they will interview them and understand what is that, whether the person fits in to the normalization committee and will be able to act independently without the influence of anyone, and has the ability and experience to manage the affairs of the federation. So therefore, it can be a group of 5 people, group of 7 people, and with a normalization committee chairman being in place. So that it's a week's work.
Something you should have started a week back if you wanted it to be implemented before the order. If you foresaw that the order was coming today.
Yes.
Jaydeep sir, in the order, isn't that also one of the things कि COA तो है ही, and COA का prime काम है to amend the constitution by that given date, and then
ऑर्डर
of
अभी
course
आया नहीं है यार, just
नहीं,
to
I'm
point
saying
out,
जो
order
बातें वहाँ पे
beyond
हाँ जो हाँ the order is not out as yet, but I'm saying what has come out so far is that the CO is formed till the 30th of June. Post that, their job is to make sure the elections happen. Also, the current working members of the AIFF will continue to assist them in doing their job. Is that also part of the?
I don't think so. I think whatever the judge the order to, okay, like Siddhant said, the order has to come. But given the understanding, most of the lawyers, which Saji also knows, have said that they said that the COA will also run the federation
Day-to-day
till that
affairs.
time affairs, and they will be helped by the current people who are sitting, because there cannot be a gap, because the COA has actually no understanding of what is happening in the air. Perhaps I and you know more than them. Because they have never followed it. So I think current people will help them out, which is okay, because AFF has a large number of staff, and they are employees of the federation, so they are not hampered by what who is the president, or who is the secretary, or who is running the show. So that is there. But I think like you said, this should have been foreseen. Now there is no point crying that India might be banned by FIFA, which all the federations in the country, including the IOA, always cries about. Whenever they are caught on the wrong foot for doing some, they say नहीं फिर तो हमारे ban हो जाएगा. तो ban हो जाने दो भाई. तो like Shaji wrote that letter 8 days ago, 7 days ago. Shaji wrote that letter in which he specified that this might happen. कोई आप तो किसी ने तो कुछ नहीं बोला था. सबने बोला था कि कुछ नहीं होता है. Now, whenever you come down on them, whether the government or the court, whenever you come down on them, whenever you come down on them, then they will show you that FIFA ban and IOC ban and what not. But that doesn't mean you will be allowed to do whatever you feel like. Sorry, then let it be banned. See. For all the wrongdoings, some people who are surrounding them are some of them sometimes get punished without any reason. So I'm very sad to say that if Indian,
if you miss out on
but history will remember that how Mr. Patel,
for his sole benefit, that you miss out on the qualifiers at all.
Why, bhai? If you're banned. You're banned.
The AIFF might be banned from, but I think they will be allowed to compete in the qualifiers. And I doubt anything will happen so quickly. I mean, if you look at what happened at the AFC Congress, sorry, I lost internet and missed a big chunk of the
we could make out.
I think Siddhant is right, because and something something which has not happened. Let us not discuss in anticipation that this might happen. जो हुआ है वो तो देखो, जो हुआ है, which is right. Whatever has happened is right. Actually, it should be like that.
Aney bhai, what else did you get from the courtroom? What else went down?
ठीक है, yeah. I mean, the courts, whatever the Justice Chandrachud made the statements in court. It was a fairly fair statement. By June 30th, which means about a month from now, you get the whole process of discussing this new constitution, emissions, all of that is done. And so you are in a position to hold elections. So even if any theoretical ban happens, at the most that ban will be for 2 months or 3 months. I don't think it really has any impact. AFC has taken a decision today in its Congress to not ban any member association.
ये क्या था? What is this development? ये क्या था?
They have taken COVID-19 as the reason to amend their own statute, right? In order to ensure that no member association in this period till the next AFC Congress is held and a new agenda comes up, then perhaps retrospectively India might face some kind of ban, right? So these qualifiers are being held by the AFC. India's qualification has no bearing on what happens at the FIFA World Cup. That stage of Asian qualifiers are over. These are no longer FIFA World Cup qualifiers. This is an AFC only qualifier. So as far as India's participation in the qualifiers are concerned on June 8 onwards, I don't think that is some. This is a bogey that is being used in this entire story in order to not get the job done, and for whatever reason prolong the process. Now, rightly, as Jaydeep pointed out and everyone has said, the legal teams, etc., have figured out there is no more time. The rope has ended, however long it was, and now elections have to be held. And I think it's great that that process is finally going forward, and we can stop having to have these conversations. And hopefully, the new constitution will take into consideration all of the stakeholders' concerns, particularly member associations like Shaji's and several others across the country. I think the court has also said, by the way, that anyone that wants a copy of the constitution can approach the council of the who is representing the committee of administrators. Right? I think the advocate's name is Samar Bansal. So I'm also going to send an email to the gentleman to ask for a copy. All of us who are stakeholders in the federation and all of that can give any objections that they might have, and then the court will discuss whether those objections have any substance, or whether the constitution is good to go as it is, and then elections will happen. So it's great to have there's a roadmap that has clearly been outlined today by the court. Now, how that works out, let's see. The problem, there was one little legal locha, I believe, in this sealed cover had been submitted by Dr. Qureshi and Bhaskar Ganguly some time ago. But there was a long delay. They was originally given by the court 8 weeks to submit this draft. Right? They took much longer, and later on they said we need an extension, etc., etc. Supreme Court registry didn't accept that document. Yeah. So now the court has taken the step of saying, please accept this document. Okay, whatever mistake happened. They let them respond to why the delay happened. But in the meantime, let's circulate this constitution, this draft document that has been shared. Let everyone comment on it, and let's put an end to the matter. So that is a huge positive, and I think really good for whatever direction Indian football goes in. And for what it's worth, I think from like whether a FIFA appointed normalization committee works better or a Supreme Court appointed committee of administrators works better, that is, I guess, a subjective thing. But overall, I'm looking at this as a very positive step.
Shaji sir, you're looking at it as a positive step as well. Developments today.
The one ambiguity that still exists, and that's why I'm repeatedly saying let's final order, is whether the mandate of the committee of administrators will extend to day-to-day running, or it will only be limited to this constitution and thereafter the holding of the elections. This is the key point. Right? ये तभी पता चलेगा जब फाइनल ऑर्डर हाथ में आएगा.
सर अगर शाजी सर चलो वो तो स्पेकुलेशन हो गई, जो ऑर्डर आया नहीं है उसकी स्पेकुलेशन कर रहे हैं, बट आई एम सेइंग एज यू सपोज टुडे हैज बीन अ पॉजिटिव स्टेप, काइंड ऑफ दोस टाइप्स कि 2 steps बैक 1 step फॉरवर्ड. धक्का पड़ा है, you could face something for it, but eventually you'll have to find a way of moving forward, and you will eventually, slowly, steadily.
See, one way to look at on this today's development is the impasse. The deadlock has been broken. Yeah, so there is a direction now, and that is what was required. Yeah, and now there is clarity in every aspect of it. Yeah, but then, yeah, now we need to see that the timelines are adhered to, and then everyone plays a positive role from here on. Yeah. Now, what the focus should be, how we can quickly regroup and work as a team to make things happen, and which we never go back to this kind of situation again in future. And we need to put a robust structure, good governance practice, not only in the form of book, but in actual practice. That is what we need to do, because at the end, we are at a stage of football.
Are there enough those administrators, where it's easier said than done?
No, see, it is again a culture.
Yeah.
See, we can't, blame everyone in the system, but again, how we build a culture where people will follow that, and they respect the book, they respect the laws.
Everyone's accountable, basically.
Statutes, and we make the structure such everyone in every level is accountable, everyone is responsible, and they're proactive, and they anticipate things much before than actually we kind of take reactive steps when problem happens, and that is what we need to do. And I think we are at a stage where we can't really afford going backward anyway. And we have this huge energy of people, more than 200 million, who really wants to see Indian football rise and do well. And they all waiting to be part of this journey in a big way. And we must give them an opportunity to part of this beautiful game. And we have the potential, we have the capability, and we see that on daily basis. See, look at some of the clubs, how they are doing, and they are achieving. And this is again a great thing. And maybe I am sure everything will come back to normal, and we will be at a faster pace of development, and everyone will make their job and contribute for the growth of the game.
Nicely said, sir. Jaydeep sir, because आपने भी बड़ी लगन दिखाई है.
आपको मैं एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे कि आपने थोड़ा पहले मुझे पूछा था कि what are the reasons for coming to this. So I have when you were talking, I was just thinking about it. I think there are three things which has quickly brought this impasse to an end. Thankfully, three things. Apart from the members were very unhappy, they were talking about it. Regularly, they were talking about it. They were writing letters in 2020, and later they were talking about it. And three things. One is the Karnataka State Football Association President, Mr. Harris. He brought it up in the AGM in Bombay in February, on February 5, I think, or 14, I don't remember. In February, he brought it up. That was one of the reasons, because it got a kick, because before that nobody was talking. After he started talking, then everybody started, and he spoke in the meeting. That is one of the reasons. Second reason is Shaji's letter, continuous letter, 2 letters Shaji has written, one himself and one through the Delhi Soccer Association Executive Committee resolution, which also helped a lot. And third is, of course, Ranjit Bajaj's for a suit which he filed and brought in Mr. Prashant Bhushan to argue. For all these things, I think, accounted for the change, which was very, very, very much needed, because whatever will happen, the normalcy will be restored. Anybody gets elected. I can get elected. You can get elected. Tom, Dick, Harry. Anybody gets elected, but they will be elected representatives. Like Mr. Patel was till 20 December. Nobody spoke a word against him, because he was elected president of the federation. So anybody who will come in the federation now, whether it's president or treasurer or executive member or vice president or whatever it is, but they will be duly elected. There will be no ambiguity in it. They will be democratically elected. So that is a good thing which something has been initiated by the Supreme Court. But my experience is Supreme Court always gives a deadline, but for some reason or the other, deadline it gets difficult to meet the deadline. So even if the deadline is postponed by a couple of months or 3 months, I don't mind. At least the process is on. and a proper committee will be in place. Let Mr. Patel become the president again.
There's one,
isn't it? Let's Mr. Patel become the president again. It doesn't matter, but let him get elected properly by the members. That's what I feel.
Fair point, sir. हाँ जी, Gillette, the best a man can get. हाँ जी मेरे भाई. Annie?
Statue.
No, he's back. He can't.
We are playing that statue game like we used to play in the childhood.
No, so basically what he's done is he's just submitted his plea to the Supreme Court right now. अब 2.5 साल बाद मिलेगा हमें वो. तो उसको आप छोड़ दो. हमारे भाई उसका ना आज इंटरनेट में थोड़ा इशू. बट भाई देखो, आपकी हमने यहाँ पे लाज रखते हुए वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू स्पेकुलेट जब तक ऑर्डर नहीं आता कि भाई उसके बाद बैन है नहीं है क्या है. पर एक बार ये ऑर्डर आ जाएगा तो फिर साफ साफ पता चल जाएगा कि ऑर्डर क्या कह रहा है. अगर ऑर्डर कहेगा जी 30 जून तक COA will be manning not just the constitution, building of the constitution, but also day-to-day affairs, then it means there's government interference till the 30th of June, right, Shaji sir? And then how FIFA reacts to it will be the real game. Yes. Then we can probably talk about that. Because असली कहानी तो वहाँ develop होगी आप, क्योंकि आपका पहला मुकाबला 8 जून को है. And it's all in the space of a week or 10 days, whatever it is. So देखने वाला होगा. It could also happen, Shaji sir, वैसे if the ban could come right after the qualifiers are over. ये भी तो हो सकता है, because that's within that period.
Yeah, see, that is what I said. FIFA should not be, taking any decision without consulting all the stakeholders here in India, and that way, we can have a better scenario and better outcome of this situation.
Done. Shaji sir, Jaydeep sir, thank you so much for joining us on the show, sir.
Thank you.
आप जैसे लोग लगे रहते हो, so we must really respect that. And tirelessly just banging yourself against that wall, tuck. So we thank you for that. Good or bad, whatever it might be, but it just shows कि लगे हुए हो. So we thank you for that.
I would like to say one more thing. This is 420 Grams and Newslick print media. Both of them have, for the last 2 years, are saying that it should not be like this. There should be elections. Not many media houses were doing it, actually.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So, see, I'm not taking credit for ourselves, but I think people will notice that 420 Gram as well as Newslick print area have played a role to an extent in making it happen.
True, sir. And we thank the two of you as well for all your efforts. Let's see where it goes from here. Interesting. We'll of course be on top of the news as and when the new development comes, and what that means from a FIFA point of view. We'll of course catch hold of Shaji sir again, and we'll again get him on camera and again start talking about the ins and outs and how that decision. Are we preempting a decision? What sort of a decision could it be? What could it be? We'll be on top of the news, because there's a massive development, man, from an Indian football perspective. Massive development. That too, close to about less than 3 weeks before 3 huge games from Indian football's perspective.
And you say it's also very sad that in the 85-year-old history of All India Football Federation, it has never happened.
It never happened, yeah.
Never happened. AIFF, despite its ups and downs and lows and highs, it had been a properly managed federation. Never had the government of the court had to come and intervene for in its administration. That's very sad, and it's a shame, I would say. It's a shame for Indian football. Whosoever responsible for this should feel ashamed for it.
ठीक है सर, डन. वैसे मुझे तो एक चीज़ याद आ रही है कि सिद्धांत said that I will also be approaching to get a copy of the constitution. मैं उसको बोलने वाला था, उनको एक वो suggestion दे देना to give interviews to 420 grams. हाँ, वो एक डाल देना वहाँ पे हमारे लिए, and call us for press conferences. We will come gladly. Shaji sir, Jaydeep sir, and without Wi-Fi, Annie. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on the show. Until that next big development happens, thank you for watching.